John. It's too much, man. Nintendo, you're putting out your directs in the middle of TGS. There's too much. It's you know what happened, John? It's Oops All Trailers this week on Rage Select.
Yeah.
Because we have a Nintendo Direct and we've got a bunch of TGS trailers and we've got very little else to talk about. So welcome, everybody.
We will talk about some of it.
That is true. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
And unlike other weeks on Rage Select, where we start by yammering on about Iron Fist for an hour before we get into
haven't even
things,
watched it.
I'm going to just briefly say that it was only 10 episodes, and I kind of liked it. I just don't know if that franchise, if the goal of Iron Fist is to make me hate Danny Rand and think he's a fucking worthless chumpo, then, like, congratulations, you have done it. Now, everybody else in that show is kind of cool, and I like them, but, like, Danny Rand is a real piece of shit, and I hate him. So, anyway. How about we talk about some Nintendo, John?
Sure.
We had a big old Nintendo Direct that literally ended like 20 minutes before we started doing this.
Yeah.
This is the Nintendo Direct that was postponed last week.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last week.
And it's a fair amount of stuff here. We started out with a thing that is I should have Amanda come and just guest do this spot with you so that y'all can both be really excited about Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, they announced Luigi's Mansion 3. They said it's going to come out in 2019. That's all they're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get more information on it at a future Nintendo Direct.
Yep.
But it looks like Luigi's Mansion. I love that goddamn franchise because it's essentially Ghostbusters. So I'm down.
Yeah.
Amanda's down. Like I messaged Amanda when the trailer popped up. It was like, Luigi's Mansion 3 coming to Switch 2019. She's like, fuck yes. So, we're excited.
I don't know what it is. You know what? I don't think that there's anything about the concept. I just think that I really have a burning hatred for Luigi that I cannot.
And I don't understand it.
You know what? I don't even understand it. All I know is that when I see that motherfucker and his fucking mustache, I'm just
Luigi's
like,
my favorite.
oh,
He's my favorite Mario brother.
Whiny beanpole. Bring back the main guy. I don't know. It may just be because he was like the least useful in Super Mario Brothers 2. Like that might be the reason that I didn't like him.
I've exclusively played Super Mario Brothers 2 with Luigi.
You are missing out because the princess is where the fuck it is.
No. I know she had the slowdown, but I fucking love Luigi in Super Mario Brothers 2.
I played I used to just like play Super Mario Brothers 2 from beginning to end with all the warp zones, and it's like princess every level except there's one warp zone that you have to have dumb Luigi to get to, and it's at the end of the level. So you got to play through this entire level, and it's all like flying carpets that you have to do these jumps on. His dumb little foot jump makes it really hard to land on anything. And then anyway, it looks nice. I suppose
looks like a Luigi's Mansion game.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a graphical powerhouse, but I mean, it's it's the Switch. Everything has a good art style.
They also state that Luigi's Mansion 3 is a working title, so they'll probably have some better title when it.
What do you want the subtitle for Luigi's Mansion?
Oh, I don't
3?
know.
Luigi's Mansion 3. Too many Luigis.
No, well, there's only one Luigi in there, so
You don't know. It could happen later on when the ghosts grab him and then they start cloning him and making other Luigis. So okay, from there we basically jumped directly into a metric crap ton of Nintendo 3DS news.
Yes.
Let's see. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. It looks like Kirby's Epic Yarn is getting put on the 3DS. Or no, wait. This is like a new game kind of based on that. Like this isn't like a port of the
it's a completely new game using the graphic styling and the mechanics from it, adding some new stuff along the way.
Yeah. I think I gave you guys Epic Yarn, right? Did I give you guys Epic Yarn?
I don't know if you gave us Epic Yarn, but I know I liked Epic Yarn.
Okay.
I know Amanda liked Epic Yarn.
Okay.
So,
So, boy, this Nintendo Direct is off to a really good start, Jeff-wise, with Kirby and Luigi. It's like all we need now is a new Yoshi game, and we'll get to that.
Stay tuned.
We'll get to that in a minute. I don't know. I mean, as always, this looks like Nintendo, if you're, I feel like it's great for people who like, if you like gentle platforming games that are made well, boy, does Nintendo ever have your back. Between Kirby and Yoshi and like Luigi and all these different characters, that it's like, oh, if you just want to play a real nice game that's not exactly, throwing blood in your face, or you're chopping people
Really
in
nice
half.
platformers and games that will ruin your friendships.
Do you think these games will ruin your friendship?
No. Really nice platformers and games that will ruin your friendship.
That's what it says on the outside of the company, right?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
nice platformers.
Because, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers,
Sure.
Mario Party,
Yeah.
all those ruin friendships.
Yeah. Friendship
Yeah,
ruiners. And then you've got these games to put the friendships back together
Yes,
again,
yes,
right?
yes.
And we're all going to go, hey, man, I'm so sorry. Let's go get some ice cream. Let's play Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Extra Epic Yarn, yeah.
Extra Epic
you got
Yarn,
your 3DS and
Yep.
let's do this,
Yep.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And then we're going to play that Kirby like brawl battle game and then break our friendship again, and then we're going to have to go get ice cream. It's just the vicious cycle.
It is.
I'm pretty sure that Big Ice Cream is involved in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they are. They are. You should see the wall I've got at home. I've got like little like yarn things like to connect all the dots.
Oh,
and,
like Charlie and
corkboard.
It's Always Sunny?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the thing. John's trying to track down Big Ice Cream. He's going to put Big Ice Cream in its place.
Baskin Robbins, they're motherfuckers.
How do they know my birthday?
How do they have so many flavors?
There aren't that many flavors. Anyway, next up, it's weird. John, I thought this game was out already.
Yeah.
I thought that Mario, the re-release, because this is a re-release, right? This is a DS game. The Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was originally a DS game.
Correct.
And they're putting it out on the 3DS.
Yes.
And then the big thing here is that it's also going to have Bowser Jr.'s story, which is like a whole sub-story specifically about Bowser Jr. and the rest of the Koopa kids.
And that's cute.
Yeah, I can honestly say that I think I started like the first DS Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
But I've never played Paper Mario.
I heard Bowser's Inside Story was really good.
I never played RPG.
The idea that you get to play that, plus you also get this new game or story, is also seems fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan. I like the RPG franchise because I feel like it really fleshes out more of the Mario verse, because we always see all our Mario games are from Mario's perspective.
Yeah.
It's Mario, Peach or Luigi, and that I like this one. You know what? When are we going to get a full-on Bowser game? It's like there's a Wario game, there's a Peach game, there's Mario's got a billion games, Luigi's got a shitload of games. Are we going to get like a single-player Bowser adventure where it's not even has anything to do with the Mushroom Kingdom? It's like the fucking the mucks from Dimension 12 have invaded Bowser's kingdom, and he's got to put all the Koopas together and go on an adventure to try to solve again.
Or it could be like this weird, you have to like manage the Koopa Kingdom game. Like it's a
that old chestnut where the spin-off game is like it's but this is just Sim City with Bowser's Kingdom.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Koopa kids all get kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like you got to go through 12 levels to get all the Koopa kids back. Come on, Nintendo. This shit is easy. I'm hungover and unraveling and all kinds of stuff. You could do it. Anyway, January 11th, 2019 is when Mario and Luigi Bowser Inside Story is coming out on the 3DS. I swear to God, I thought this was already out. Let's see. From there, a reminder that Luigi's Mansion, the OG Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS, is coming out.
And they also showcase some new modes that are exclusive to the 3DS version.
Yeah, it's got a 2-player mode.
Yes.
I've never played.
So if 2 people have Luigi's Mansion, they can play together, the whole game together, with
Right.
one person being this like green Luigi looking ghostful thing. However, if only one person has the game, then they can play this like boss rush mode.
Yeah.
Where you only can play against the bosses, and you basically
It sucks. Go buy the full game. What are you doing? I want to play the full
both
game.
players buy the full game. It's a good game. Plus, they have some features with some amiibos and.
Let me ask you this, because I've never played it, or I played it, but like so briefly and was like, is it the sort of game that would be fun with 2 players instead of 1? Like, would 2 players really add a lot to the game, or is it just let's have some fun and then play? I mean, like, because it seems like a lot of times, if they don't rebalance the game for 2 people, that it's just going to make the whole game super easy, right? With
Yeah,
just
I
two
don't know.
people instead of one. Okay.
I would assume it does like rebalance the game. Like I would assume it'd be more difficult with two people.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, there's also, like you said, amiibo support.
and it'll be available in October 12th,
October 12th.
just in time for Halloween.
Yeah. From there, we saw Yokai Watch Blasters, Rabbit Crew, and like Dog Days or something.
I don't know anything about Yokai Watch.
This whole trailer is just a fever dream of craziness to me. Like, I don't understand anything. I thought Yokai Watch was like Pokemon, except you were catching ghosts.
Yeah.
And here it's like they're driving around in a car and going to the moon, and they're just hitting the big ghosts, and like there's spacemen and like little cats with like pajamas, and there's one that's like the dog squad, but it still looks like a cat that runs the dog squad. There's like a golden face and a bunch of it's like a third person top down action game. I thought this was like an RPG.
No, I don't know. I've never played any of them. I can't really comment on any of them.
It looks so bizarre. Like this it's just strange to me because this looks nothing like. I mean, I haven't played Yokai Watch, but like when they announced it, I was like, okay, I kind of get it, right? It's based on an anime. It's Pikachu. It's Pokemon, but with ghosts. Fine, I get that. Like, I understand that. But this just looks like a nightmare fever dream of weirdness. So, Red Cat Core and White Dog Squad, and those actually, those released digitally on the 3DS this week.
Yeah. And that was all the 3DS headlines.
That's all the 3DS.
We move on to Nintendo Switch stuff.
Yep. And we started with a trailer for Season 4 of Splatoon 2, or Version 4, I don't know, whatever they're calling it. This was a really strange trailer because it was cut like kind of like an anime intro almost. And I'm pretty sure that what they were showing was just a lot of like the new environments, the new stages.
Had a really weird song playing over it.
Yeah. Some new weapons. I think that there are so many weapons. The problem that I have with this particular trailer is that it doesn't have any, like, it's not like your typical Nintendo trailer that is telling you something. It's a very stylish trailer, and then at the end they say, like, go over to this website and you'll get more information. There have been so many updates to Splatoon that I just, like, can't tell what's new and what's not anymore. You could cut a trailer like this together and show it to me and then tell me all this stuff is already in Splatoon, and I'd be like, okay, I didn't know any of that. But it's nice to see that Splatoon is still Splatooning along.
Yeah.
I mean, for the people who like it. Last time I played, I felt like I'd been outpaced like Call of Duty, but with Splatoon, like everybody was too good at Splatoon for me. I was just like bad at the game. So, yeah. So there's more details of that over at their website. From there, let's see, Mega Man 11.
Yeah.
John, did you play the demo that came out?
I did not, because I've been too busy playing other games.
Like Spider-Man,
Yes.
and also Spider-Man,
Yes.
and then Spider-Man sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
By games, I meant one specific game.
I played a little bit of it. It's really fascinating. Like, I don't know if you saw in here, but like, this is something that I feel like is very different from any of the previous Mega Man games.
Yeah.
Because it's got like the L1 and R1 buttons are mapped to these, it's like this dual gear system, and like one of them will slow down time for like a very short amount of time, and the other one will like power up your blaster for a very short amount of time. And it's not very long at all. And I think if you use both of them together, they do something, but I didn't get that far in the demo. But it's one of the first times in a long time that I feel like I've seen a side-scrolling Mega Man game that has added a new mechanic to Mega Man that is not just like, I feel like Mega Man, like Capcom has been sticking to like quote unquote like the purity of Mega Man for a long time, of just like, we're making traditional Mega Man games and we're not adding a bunch of bullshit in. But anyway, they showed it off. It is coming to
I've had
Switch.
people that have gotten before this came out that had played like demos at like E3 and a couple of other events that they showed the game off of, and they were like, no, it's totally a Mega Man game. Like it's got the difficulty down. It's got like this. It feels like a Mega Man game, and it's they're like, this feels like what I wanted Mighty Number 9 to be.
Yeah. I see. I really liked it because I have gotten tired as an adult of the super difficult game, and what I like is that with the slowdown and the powering up your thing. It's like you have some strategic options for ways to try to get around hurdles in the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I really, really appreciated about it. That and the fact that you start out in the demo, you just have by default, there's one boss to beat, but by default, you do have a power, and that power is to bring rush down to let you jump higher. So,
well, I think that was that's been the staple since 3 or 4.
I don't know. Last one I played. I guess the last time I played Mega Man was that Mega Man X collection, and I felt like every one of those started out with just like, you got nothing, go beat a boss. So, and I don't think like Mega Man 9 had that either. Just gave you a power by default.
Yeah, well, Mega Man 9 was very much like, we're going back to 9-10 was very much, we're going back to the OG Mega Man style.
Right.
Before you could really do any of the cool stuff.
Anyway, also, if you have Mega Man amiibos, apparently you can get a Black Cat Energy Tank like once a day. That seems kind of strange to me, but it's whatever. I guess it seems strange to me because it's like, oh, Nintendo's putting like a cap on, like, okay, well, once a day you could do this. And it's like having your mom tell you can only play Mega Man for 20 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
October 2nd is when it's coming out. Also, if you haven't played the demo, I highly recommend it because it's...
Yeah, I've got it downloaded. I just haven't. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
You know what? Matt and I just got done recording the dojos yesterday for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I cannot think of a worse week for Tomb Raider to try to drop than when everybody's got spider fever. Well, I guess... I guess I am. As always, Jeff is forgetting, like, all the people who don't own a PlayStation, all the people who just have like a PC or an Xbox, who might want to play a game of their own.
Who are jealous of the people playing Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already been cursed out by a few friends.
What's that?
I've already been cursed at by a few friends who don't have PS4s.
It's weird because this is like a sidebar. It reminds me of a sidebar because I saw some of that, like some people making jokes about like graphical comparison between Spider-Man on the PS4 and Spider-Man on the Xbox One. It's just like a picture of Spider-Man and then a black screen on the Xbox One side, and people are like, ooh, I'm so angry. And it's like, dude, it has been this way for it has been this way since I started playing video games, right? This would be like if you had a Super Nintendo and you wanted to play Sonic the Hedgehog and you can't. And like, what am I supposed to do? Buy a Sega? I don't have that money. I'm fucking 12. I don't wait for Christmas to get something like that. But it reminded me that while I was watching it, because I was watching this Nintendo Direct live, and every so often my eyes would drift down to the chat box.
Oh, you watched the chat box. Oh, no.
And then I would go, oh, because it doesn't matter what Nintendo announces. The chat box is full of just like, where's the new Pikmin game? And it's like, they're not going to talk about it. It's like, where's 40 minutes of playthrough of that new Metroid game? Like, what about a new Castlevania game? And it's just like, just everybody yell your wildest suppositions about what could possibly be happening. And then as if that wasn't enough, then for some reason, and I don't understand this, I remember at E3, this happened in the Sony chat all the time, there was a bunch of just like, I don't even know why you plebeians are watching this. Buy a PC, you dumb shits. And it's like, what are you doing here? We're all just trying to watch Nintendo tell us about the new things. And you're just like, I'm here to spoil your fun. I'm a PC master race. You guys suck with your Nintendo handhelds. Blah.
Nintendweebs.
Yeah, I don't understand what a person gets out of that. Anyway, I do understand, though, what people get out of Mario Tennis Aces because Chris and I played it on the dojo. There's a new update coming. This is kind of a nothing burger. This is Birdo, Shy Guy, Koopa Paratroopa, Petey Piranha, and then a new co-op challenge mode and some cosmetic stuff is all coming out.
Yeah, Birdo.
Over time. Yeah. Do we have a is Birdo a lady now? Do we know?
Are you asking if Birdo has made the transition?
Yes.
Because Birdo's a dude.
I know that, but I also know that Nintendo's a very conservative company, and I don't know if they've rewritten Birdetto's story.
No, from what I understand, they have not. That's one of the few things they've let be.
Okay. Because I feel like Capcom rewrote, Poison's story at some point? Or did they?
No, they doubled down on it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Great. All right. So everybody knows the gender of all of our favorite video game characters. Great. Yeah, Mario Tennis Aces, I mean, like, I've when we played it, I was pretty amazed at the fact that it's like hey man, if you have any interest in tennis whatsoever, this is a really, really good game and you should totally play it. However, if you have zero interest in tennis, it's called Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah, I want to play it. I just didn't want to buy it. So
you can borrow my copy. I got Mario Tennis Aces right there.
Busy playing other games, but sure.
So you bring me your copy of Spider-Man, and then I'll let you check out Mario Tennis Aces.
I bought it digitally, so I can't bring you a copy.
You pre-ordered?
Yes, I did.
Oh man, John, you're breaking my heart. Well, no, actually, no, that's not true. I'm going to give John a pass because John was in the specific position of having like an extra day off that he wouldn't normally have, and he wanted to do the midnight launch.
Yeah.
So, which is exciting and it's pretty all right. Anyway, next up, Capcom. There's a Capcom beat 'em up bundle.
I'm actually kind of excited for this.
Yeah?
Mostly for 2 games.
So this is a bundle that has Final Fight, King of Dragons, Captain Commando, Knights of the Round, Armored Warriors, Battle Circuit, like a bunch of different like old Capcom beat 'em ups.
Some of which have never been released on a home console.
Yeah.
Before.
They have been released on MAME, though.
Yeah.
Armored Warrior is actually pretty good. I remember playing that on MAME. Or no, not on MAME, because Capcom had like a specific hardware set for these old games.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised to see, wasn't AVP also that one where you had like the big dude, the katana lady, and then the 2 predators?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The only reason that's probably not in here is because, rights.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Licensing rights.
So which one of these is the one that's got you excited?
Well, my favorite is Captain Commando. I fucking love Captain Commando.
Captain Commando is a fucking strange fever dream of a game.
And I love it. I love everything about Captain Commando.
There's a mummy.
Yes, there is. There's Babyhead.
Yeah.
Babyhead's awesome. But it's one of my favorite fighting games. And anytime they've released it on a console, I've bought whatever collection it's in. So I will totally buy it for this and then also for
Final Fight.
Yeah, Final Fight.
I can tell you right now that it's interesting. One of the most interesting contributions of Captain Commando, because isn't Commando? Doesn't it go like Commando, Bionic Commando, Captain Commando? That those are all 3 in like the same world, right? Because the Commando Joe was captured in Bionic Commando, and you're actually going to release him. And then I believe that he then gets the suit to become Captain Commando after that.
Yeah.
It's very strange that those 3 games are all connected and in the same universe.
Yeah. Also, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure someone will come out and say, no, that was just a weird like myth that got proven false. Capcom's name actually comes from Captain Commando.
That's
Commando.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Of all these, I've never heard of Battle Circuit, but it's got ladies riding ostriches with eye patches. So
What's not to love?
I mean, come on. But anyway, I mean, I don't know. This is one of those ones. Yeah, $20, maybe 30. That's a fair amount of things.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Like I'm excited. I like beat 'em ups. I'm actually, that was one of my favorite genres in the arcades back in the day.
It's strange that they've gone away. That they're not as prevalent. You would feel like there would be more of them. Anyway, September 18th, Capcom beat 'em up bundle
Next week, man.
Yeah. New Super Mario Brothers U is getting released because if there's one thing you can count on from every Nintendo Direct, it's that some Wii U game is going to be ported to the Switch. There's going to be some new Switch version of an old Nintendo game, and some very popular video game is going to be released on the Switch. So
Yes.
I feel like this is the only Wii U game that is being released on the Switch.
I think you are correct.
From this direct.
And
okay, so New Super Mario Brothers U, which is a wonderful just side-scrolling Mario game.
Yeah.
Nintendo has that shit down. Like
Yeah.
you can play if you like side-scrolling platformers. Mario is where it's at. And
Yeah.
this one is also adding in Nabbit and Toadette. Nabbit apparently doesn't get hit by enemies. I don't know how fair that is.
And Toadette, when she gets the crown, she turns into Princess Peach.
They said it was like Peachette or something like that.
It's Princess Peachette.
Who can like float with her dress and then has can almost fall off the screen and gets like a save or something.
Yeah, and then they also included for free with the game is
Right.
new Super Luigi U and some added levels that were not in new Super Luigi U previously.
Now, I never played Super Luigi U for the obvious reasons that have been stated 100 times in this podcast. Was it a different game?
It did have a little bit of differences.
Okay.
Like they did change things up for it.
Okay. So, I feel like this is another one of those. I feel like we say this all the time, John, but like, if you never played this game because you didn't buy
Get it.
a Wii U, and who could blame you for not wanting to shell out for a Wii U because there were like 12 games total. This is a great Mario game, and it's like totally a nice little throwback. You can play it with up to 4 people. It's just pure platform and Mario, right?
Coming out January 11th.
Yeah. So I think that's one of those ones where it's like if you never got a chance to play that, no brainer. From there, a very strange announcement. Katamari Damacy HD coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Called Rerolled or something like that. Yeah, Reroll.
Yeah,
Katamari
Reroll.
Damacy Reroll, which is basically just an HD remake of the first Katamari Damacy game.
Has there been a re-release of the first game? Was there like an
there was
like an
on
HD collection or something?
Yeah, I think there was at one point.
Okay. I never really played these games, so
I played the first like 2.
yeah.
So I have the theme song already in my head, going in my head. So
Okay. And then apparently you can do you can use like one of each controller to kind of like control it in a funky way, and you can do co-op and all that stuff. So that's gonna be out winter. I mean, again, this is one of those things where I feel like Nintendo has like, I don't know if before they released a Switch, if this was their plan or if they just kind of stumbled into it, but like, boy howdy, have they just been re-releasing like kind of classic game after classic game, and the ability to put them into that thing and then take them with you on the bus or to grandma's house or wherever you want to go is just phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, why, like,
I took my Switch with me when we went to California. Like that's how I got to play the demo for Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Yeah.
Like I literally bought a bunch of games. Like I bought both Mega Man collections and both Mega Man X collections.
Yeah.
I bought, Hand of Fate 2. I downloaded that. I bought a few other games. Took it with me on the go while I was on vacation. So
nice. Okay, so from there, actually, we probably need to speed this up a little bit, or we're going to have to do all trailers and no questions. We got a little presentation on the online that Switch is getting. The online service, basically.
Their online service, which launches next week on the 18th. It's $20 for the full year.
$20 for a year. It's going to have, I mean, like, this is all, I don't know. I feel like most of this is already known. Cloud saves, play online with other people, which you now are going to have this in order to be able to do.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, apparently at this point, the PC is the last place where you don't have to have an online pass to play with other people. I still don't know if the last report I had was that the NES games, you're going to get like 3 a month, and they're going to like rotate so that the same ones aren't available every month.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was the last thing that I heard, which people were kind of like, because, Xbox games with gold, PlayStation Plus.
It kind of felt like that they were that at some point they changed it up to where it'd just be like here's a catalog, a large catalog.
That's kind of what it seems like in this trailer. So I don't really know. I didn't get a chance to look into it before we started because there's a lot of stuff here. I am glad to see like they seem to highlight like they highlighted a few games, and one of them was like Solomon's Key, which is not a game that you see very often out there. It's not like everybody's
and they're going to have those games will have online play, so you can play them with other people online,
right? For 2-player. Which is interesting. I mean, I like the games that I'm seeing in this list more than just like putting out Balloon Fight for the fucking millionth time.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm actually most excited about was also there's a smartphone app that ties into this new what is it called?
Oh, I don't.
Switch Online or something like that. Like it needs a gold or plus. It needs like a branding, in my opinion. And then there's like the last thing was some kind of special offers that we'll talk about later. Don't worry about it. It's like, okay. And so it's how much is it if you buy it every month? Is it like $2 a month? Like that?
It actually says
$4 a month.
So it's $4 a month, $7.99 for 3 months, $19.99 for 12 months. Now the thing that they did mention is that this is per account. So in other words,
right.
if you have multiple accounts on your Switch, this only applies to one of said accounts.
Yeah, because there's like a family pack where you can get more than you could buy more than buy this for more than one account. Like if you buy 2 accounts, you get $5 off the $40 that you'd be spending. That's a little shitty. Like except it's weird because they're doing that thing where it's like this is about half as much as you would normally pay for an online pass, but then you're getting NES games, not like full games like you get on the other ones, and then you have to do it per account, which is kind of like I don't know. I mean, I only have one account, so it's not really a big deal for me. But
yeah, I mean, it's not really a big deal here. But I mean, Amanda and I do have our own separate accounts. So
are you going to buy two?
It depends.
Yeah,
because I mean, neither of us really play online,
right?
So there's no reason for that. But if she wants to be able to play like the old classic NES games on like her own profile, like if there's some reason why they can't, then yeah, we would probably do it.
The most interesting thing I actually thought about this announcement was the announcement of basically NES controllers, NES brand. These are technically, I guess, it would be an NES branded Joy-Con that you can use to play these games. It looks like an NES controller. It literally slides into the side of the Switch to charge. But then because the Joy-Con only has like 2 buttons, the control stick and then like the shoulder buttons and stuff, that you can totally map that onto just an NES controller with the top buttons. I would actually like these. I think they're a little pricey. $60 for 2 of them is a little bit pricey, but then this is so boutiquey that like, nobody needs these. Like you don't have to. The Switch comes with 2 controllers.
It's the price of 1 controller or 2 Joy-Cons. So.
Right. Which I don't know. I've always thought that most of the rest of the industry charges $50 for a controller, and Nintendo charges like $65, so or something around there. Okay. We got some Pokemon Eevee. Let's go Eevee Pikachu.
Yeah, they talked about how they're going to have specific the Eevee and the Pikachu will have specific abilities that will help you traverse the world. They'll also have special battle abilities. There's also a thing where you can change your Pokemon's hairstyle by petting them using the screen. That I thought was pretty hilarious. And then they also announced a bundle,
like a console
like 2
bundle,
bundles,
that has the Switch with branded Joy-Cons, and it comes with the Pokeball.
And there's one for each. There's one for Pikachu and one for Eevee.
I thought I think, but aren't they both? Let's see. They're both like they both have both of them on it, right?
But one comes with
Let's Go Pikachu, one comes with Let's Go Eevee. Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant that they were branded like.
No.
The Switch has both of them. The controllers are for both of them. Yeah, I get you.
But you also get the little Pokeball thing.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a release date for
Diablo 3 Eternal Collection.
Yep, November 2nd.
I'll probably end up buying this.
I probably will too. This is one of those ones that it would just be like, Diablo's such a great time waster, and having it on the Switch would just be like, yeah. Of course, I bought Skyrim for that exact same purpose, and I don't think I've played it very much at all on the Switch, so I don't know. Mario Party is a thing.
Super Mario Party.
Okay. I'm still ambivalent about Mario Party.
Kill your friendships. Literally, it's the game. It's the game that ends all friendships.
I think that what we're seeing here is like there's some new like 4-player kind of co-op challenges that you can do.
Yeah.
Most of the information here seems like normal kind of Mario Party things. Screw your friends. Steal all the stars, get robbed out of all the things that you've done in your life, and betray your friends to victory.
I remember that live stream where we did that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I have nothing but hate in my heart for Mario Party. It's always some bullshit, and I always get fucked. So
yep.
October 5th, you too can get fucked on October 5th on the Nintendo Switch. Let's see. Game Freak is putting out a game called Town. This is
a working title.
Yeah, really interesting to me. Game Freak is the Pokemon company.
Yeah.
And then this is an RPG that apparently all takes place in one town.
I like the art style for it.
Yeah, and there's not a lot here in this trailer. You're fighting giant monsters. You're going to have friends that'll kind of come in and help you out with stuff. I'm interested in this. I'd like to know more. There's not a whole hell of a lot here at the moment. So from there, we saw City Skylines, which strangely did not seem to run very well in this trailer like seemed real choppy, and I'm like, yikes. I also don't think I would want to play City Skylines without a mouse. Like, sorry, City Skylines, I love you. I mean, we did a whole live stream and it was great. You're like the SimCity that I never knew, right? EA fell down directly into lava with SimCity 4 and their bullshit. And you picked up the slack, and there've been a lot of lovely. My dad plays this game.
No, nice.
He's like, "Have you played the City Skylines game?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's real relaxing." I'm like, "It sure is." You just like, "Oh, I need to put down some more sewer pipes."
But I do like the fact that you get both the expansions, the Neon and the Winter Skylines.
There are like
expansions.
12 expansions to this game.
I
but
know.
you get those two. And this was also the one that was like, and it's out today. So. Anywho, let's see. From there, we got Demon X Machina, which this is the first time I think since E3 that we've seen a trailer for this. There wasn't really. This was one of those trailers that said a lot. That it was like, well, duh. Like you could put different guns on your mech, and like you pick up guns from the enemy, and then you can salvage them and customize your mech. And it was like, okay, cool. I had assumed that when I first saw the trailer for this. The thing that was kind of interesting is apparently you can get out of your mech and run around like as a person for some reason, which is cool.
Yeah, my theory is that you have to run around outside of your mech, like to do repairs on your mech, to grab materials, to do repairs if you need to.
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I'm interested, but I don't feel like I know very much about the story of this game. It mostly just seems to be
Demon X Machina.
Look at these mechs; they're exploding! Bah! Let's see from there. Yoshi's Crafted World.
I know Amanda's excited for this.
I'm sure. This is wasn't the last Kirby game, wasn't the last Yoshi game like this, where it was like a paper craft. It was like somebody had built a little Big Planet world kind of thing.
This was actually announced already.
Oh, is okay.
But they didn't have a title for it yet.
Okay. So that's what this is. That's why I remember it, is because it's already been announced.
Yeah, it was announced. It just didn't have a title. It was just called Yoshi.
Okay.
And so this is actually newly announced. They even announced a new feature for it, which is now when you get to the end of the level, you can flip the camera to the opposite side and play the level backwards.
Oh, yeah.
But because you're playing it from the opposite side of the camera, you can see stuff that you previously couldn't see before.
Right.
Which allows you to get more coins and stuff that you may not have realized were there.
Yeah. It looks like a perfectly charming Yoshi game. Everybody knows how I feel about Yoshi.
Yes.
I will be playing it at some point. Spring 2019, specifically. From there's weird Asmodee Digital talking about tabletop gaming and the Nintendo Switch together at last. And I was wondering, like, is it just tabletop games made into video games, or is there like a thing?
So Asmodee is known for taking tabletop games like Pandemic and Carcassonne and Catan and things like that,
right,
and making mobile games out of them. Like, and it's just the tabletop game done in on a tablet or for intended for a tablet. So the fact that they're HDifying them a little bit, maybe adding a little bit more pizzazz, and they're going to release those same games onto the Switch, I think is cool.
I guess I just kept expecting them when they said tabletop to like see a thing where it's like you can line up 4 switches and then like use it like a game board or some kind of weirdness like that. Because as it is, basically what this boils down to is Carcassonne, a Lord of the Rings card game, and Pandemic are going to be out very soon, and then they're also adapting Catan and Munchkin. That's basically what it comes down to. So,
I've heard that the Pandemic game is really, really good because it's just Pandemic.
But these have to already be out, right, on like the PC?
Well, they're out on tablets.
Oh, on tablets. Okay.
Like they're out on iOS and Android. Like those are already out on those.
Okay, fair enough. From there, we got a quick trailer for Civ 6 is coming out November on the Switch. This is another one that I kind of considered getting. I haven't played a Civilization game in a while because they're too big of a time suck, but I'm going out of town this Christmas, so I kind of want to load up on Switch games.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, this is one that I feel like I kind of have a little bit of an interest in, just because I don't know. It's been a long time, and I know that Civilization purists, like my dad, have big problems with like the changes that have been made to Civilization over the years. But I don't know. Let's see. We got a new Starlink trailer. I think the biggest thing to come out of this was Starwolf.
Yeah, at the very end,
is
yeah.
in the game. This is that put a little spaceship on top of your controller and then put stuff on it, kind of a toy con kind of game.
Yeah.
I really want the PlayStation 4 version of this because I would like to. That's how I kind of want to play the game.
But you really want the Star Fox stuff.
But I really want Star Fox, and I kind of also like the fact about the way that this team up between Ubisoft and Nintendo is just like, hey, remember that last Star Fox game? Sorry, here's another one. Here it is on in this game. That's September 16th. We get from there. We go into a big kind of chunk of this is a lot of announcing stuff that I feel like is already out or that we know about already. The World Ends With You Final Remix is getting some new areas.
Yeah, it's got a new chapter called A New Day.
Yeah.
Which is, this is the first time they've announced it, but yeah.
And then Xenoblade Chronicles is getting, I believe this is a DLC called Torna, the Golden Country.
Yes.
Which is a prequel to what happens in the game. I did never get a chance to play Xenogears past the opening.
I never even played it, so.
Yeah. But those are going to be out pretty soon. From there, we got our... This is strange, but I feel like we got our normal kind of like E3 sizzle reel of a bunch of different games. So Warframe, Just Dance, FIFA 19, Team Sonic Racing, NBA 2K19, NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, and Lego DC Supervillains are all coming out at various times and places. Like
very soon.
With their releases on other platforms. I was a little... not hugely taken aback, but the... NBA 2K19 has just been getting reamed.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, 2K Games has been fucking up hard, in my opinion, as a whole. But it's also weird because apparently it's still the best basketball game.
Well, nobody else has any licensing rights, right? So,
well, there's the NBA Live games still, but it's still the best basketball game, like controls wise when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
But it's all the other bullshit that they put around it, all the microtransactions and everything that just makes everyone just like fuck it. It's like I want to like this game. This game has great controls. The playing basketball is the best it's ever been in a video game.
Right.
But they put so much to hate in this game. Like they're pulling a hardcore EA.
Yeah.
With just doubling down on microtransactions. Apparently it is so bad with microtransactions.
Well,
like, it's actually like impossible to play the game without spending extra money.
I feel like last year when 2K18 came out that everybody was real mad about it, and then everybody forgot about it, and then 2K probably made a shitload of money because there were still people that were like, grr, but what am I going to do? Like, I want to play this. This is the game I want to play.
Yeah.
I don't want to play a worse game, so I'm going to play it, and I'm going to begrudgingly give you an extra $5 here and $5 there.
It's been my biggest problem with WWE 2K19.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't pre-ordered it yet, and I don't want to.
Yeah?
But I do want to at the same time.
I'm so glad I'm not into sports games. That shit is just like, sports games are lousy with microtransactions these days.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's not lousy with microtransactions is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles because it was a GameCube game.
That's true.
And now is coming out on the Switch and also on the PlayStation and I think on the PC, maybe?
Probably.
And I remember watching this trailer and being like, oh, cool, Crystal Chronicles. I remember that game. And then they showed the gameplay, and I was like, oh, right, Crystal Chronicles. That game sucks. Or like, I don't know. Apparently it's meant, like, okay, sucks may be the wrong word, but it was obviously meant to be played with a bunch of people and not by yourself. Like, by yourself, It's a very sparse thing that is not super enjoyable. But, yeah, they're remastering it. It's coming out. You can do your thing. You can team up with... I mean, I personally think that I would have started with 4 swords, but that's just me. I don't know.
I did appreciate the little joke. No link cable required to play multiplayer.
Was Crystal Chronicles one where you had to have a Game Boy Advance in order to play it as your controller? Because that was where all the menus were?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Because, like, that was the thing is that I had friends. I could invite friends over to play this game, but it was like, yes, everybody who played that game needed to have a Game Boy and a link cable to plug into your GameCube in order to play it. What a fucking terrible idea. From here, we're going all Square all day, all the time. Is there a Final Fantasy game that you would like to play on the Nintendo Switch? Well, guess what? You probably can play it. Unless it's like 14 or 11. Like, you can probably play it on the Nintendo Switch. This is weird because this dropped last week for everything. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, the one that's... And it's so weird because I feel like all the voices are just... All the audio is the audio from Final Fantasy 15, but then all of the visuals... Because this was out on cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Because this came out on the PS4 as well.
Yeah.
But this is out on the Switch, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
HD.
Yep. It's been HD-ified.
It's available today.
And then let's see. World of Final Fantasy Maxima is coming out in November. That was the one where you can turn little or turn big, and then you can put the little people on top of the big monsters and stuff. Very charming game. I really, really enjoyed what I played of it. I always meant to go back and play it because it's a very much kind of like a fan servicey game, but I really liked it. And then apparently you're going to be able to summon in Noctis and other main characters now because, Noctis, John. Noctis. Don't you love Noctis? Doesn't everybody fucking love Noctis so much?
All right.
He's in Tekken, right? He's just Noctis. God, I hate him. He's got no character. He's a whiny baby man. He makes Squall look like a composed individual who complains about perfectly justified things and is also not a whiny baby. It's like on the continuum of whiny babies in Final Fantasy, he's at the bottom of the whiny baby spectrum of the like moody whiny baby continuum. And I'm surprised guess what? Spoiler alert, the next announcement is that the Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon is going to get new updates. And I'm surprised that one of them isn't putting Noctis in there. Final Fantasy VII is coming to the Switch. And I'm kind of surprised that there isn't a new skin. You can make Cloud look like fucking Noctis and then make his fucking dialogue 20% more moody and introspective. God, I hate him. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Jeff.
They really outdid themselves this time with fucking moody shit characters. Anyway, yes, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon. And then Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age the Zodiac Age remake is coming out. That's another one that I really kind of considered. I think it's really interesting. I don't know if you caught this little tidbit when they were announcing this. Where they were like, also, there's a new fast forward mode to get through your adventure that much faster. And I was like, oh, good, because that's kind of... I mean, you have to make the argument. Jim Sterling does this all the time with the microtransactions, right? About is your game good if you have an option to skip parts of your game because it's boring?
No. Here's the thing. The big complaint was that there were certain parts of the game that are just long and drawn out. Mm-hmm. Much like Wind Waker in the sailing across the ocean. Mm-hmm. For the love of God, this game needed a fast forward mode.
Yeah. Well, I would be more than interested to play it with a fast forward mode. Then also, like I said, Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, and 10-2 HD are all coming out eventually.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of, that one caught me off guard. 7, 9, and 10-2.
It didn't for me because these are all on the PC. The only thing that surprised me was that 8 wasn't in there as well.
No, that was part of it. Yeah, that was part of my surprise. I was like, no 8? Really?
Yeah. Oh, and I don't think it's actually come out yet because I lost track. But weren't they supposed to put out an HD collection of 13, 13-2 and Lightning Returns?
Oh, I have no idea.
And I don't think that ever actually came out. Because I remember last year, it might have been last year, where they had a $500 bundle that was literally every single Final Fantasy game and a bunch of stuff and a bunch of special editions and it all came in a big treasure chest. Yeah. So, let's see. From there, a little bit of Smash Brothers news. There's a Smash Brothers branded Switch. I don't know that I really like. We didn't talk about this on the Eevee and the Pikachu thing, but I don't know that I really like this idea of them just like kind of putting a decal on the like
On the dock?
yeah, on the dock. Right? Is that it's not an actual themed Switch? It's on the dock, and I feel like you should be able to just buy that dock. Right?
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't have to buy a whole new Switch just to get that. Maybe you can. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Because also the controller
Yeah,
branding
the controller
for
is
this,
also branded as well.
but it's just like the Smash logo across both of the Joy-Cons. Like it's not really super interesting. Like it's not even. It's also gray. It's just the same gray.
yeah, I
color,
was a little bit
so.
disappointed in the controller. So, yeah.
Let's see. Also,
They also said on November 2nd you can get the GameCube controller and GameCube adapter for the
Yep.
Switch.
From there, we talked about Animal Crossing. Isabella, who I don't really know because I don't play Animal Crossing, is going to be in Smash Brothers.
She's the newest Smash Brothers character.
Because why would we have a single Nintendo franchise that wasn't represented in this new Smash Brothers game?
I mean, Animal Crossing is already.
Oh yeah,
Represented.
Villager is in there, right?
I think there's like two other
Like
characters.
the male and the female Villager. And
I think there's
then-
like 2 or 3 different Smash. Or now with Isabella, there's now like 2 or 3 different characters that are in Smash.
okay.
But I think that's great. I don't really care about.
You weren't like finally a reason to buy Smash Brothers.
Yeah, my reason to buy Smash Brothers is because it exists.
right.
But yeah, so I mean that's cool. Another character.
Yeah. I'm everybody knows I'm not a Smash guy really all that much, but I don't know.
But I think the biggest thing that a lot of people, you're not going to be excited about it. I'm not going to be excited about it.
Right.
But this led into the final announcement of the night
is that there's going to be a new Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch.
next year, 2019.
Which, I mean, like, in a lot of ways, I know that sometimes there's a phenomena. I feel like we did this for the first 2 years of, like, the PS4 and the Xbox One's lifespan. You remember the first 2 years of the PS4 and Xbox One? Where, like, they were totally good games, but then it was just like, here's a re-release of this game, here's a re-release of this game, and here's, like, the sequel that you're kind of excited for this game. And it's like it's almost like once a new console launches, you got to get all this shit out of the way. You got to get a new Animal Crossing, we got to put out a new Mario, we got to put out a new Zelda, and then it's like 2 years after that, then we can finally start making like weird shit, kind of wackadoo stuff once
Yeah.
we're past all.
Oh no, I know some people who were like the last 2 Nintendo Directs were like, where the fuck is my new Animal Crossing game? Like they were like hardcore, like pissed at Nintendo for not announcing a new Animal Crossing game. Like for the last like 3 Nintendo Directs prior to this.
Yeah. Well,
I can only imagine that when they saw this, they flew over the moon or whatever.
Sure. But then in an abject lesson about how you can't please all the people all the time, I was mad that there was nothing more. I've been waiting for Metroid since they fucking announced it. Like, show me. I don't need a gameplay trailer, John. I could go for 3 screenshots of gameplay footage, like pre-alpha gameplay footage, because that'll let me know whether it's first person or side scrolling, and like
Isn't
kind
it
of
a Metroid Prime game?
yes,
So it's probably going to be first person.
but it's not being made by what's
Retro.
So I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a hybrid. Maybe they're going to try that whole like other M side scrolling, and then it goes into behind the back. Who knows? Like I don't know. Nintendo has had a pretty good handle, I feel like, on what people want. Okay, Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey made me think, like, boy, Nintendo seems like they really are distilling like what people want out of these types of games and then giving it to them. And what I'm really hoping is that this new Metroid Prime is more of a distillation of what classic Metroid is than at least takes more of a step towards classic Metroid instead of quintupling down on the Prime series. But anyway, probably wishful thinking on my part. Fuck. Well, there you go. A full-on hour on the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, and that's fine. Let's keep going.
We're gonna no, because we've got a whole bunch of trailers left to go. We are just gonna go ahead and take a break because Project Judge, I want to talk about this for like 40 minutes all by itself. So
Okay.
let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Project Judge. I apologize if we don't get any questions this week. We will have that many questions next week. There's got to be maybe the week after that because TGS is going on, and I'm sure there's going to be all these new announcements. So stick around. It's Oops All Trailers. See you in a minute. And we're back. And John,
Yes.
we got all that Nintendo out of the way. Project Judge.
Man, this game looks so good.
Oh man, this is okay. So a few weeks back, we actually had, or it might have been last week, where it was like, "Hey, next week, the Yakuza team is going to do a live stream announcing their first new IP since Binary Domain was the last one that they had," and it is called Project Judge, and
I think in Japan it's called Judge Eyes or something like that.
that's great. Just don't even change it.
But here they're just calling it Project Judge because they may change it for American audiences.
Right, as a working title. So from this 5-minute long trailer, it appears that we're playing as like a young lawyer who won a very high profile case, and then there's like
He's a defense lawyer, so
Right.
his entire point is he's supposed to defend people to get them proven innocent. He won this high profile case, and it's like apparently he's won all of his cases. Like all of his cases have been like he's proved them innocence, but this is like the most high profile one, and he's
Right.
kind of like the new up and coming guy. And then it comes out that
that the person he defended like murdered his girlfriend.
immediately went out and murdered his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like after getting cleared.
And then it's like we jump forward and like he's like a detective
Like he
now?
quit. Yeah, no, he quit his job because he was completely disillusioned by this whole thing because he's the type of person that if someone tells him something, he believes them.
Yeah.
And this kind of destroyed his world mentality
Yeah.
of that. And so now he's kind of like this private detective, kind of disheveled. So the interesting thing is about this is that the actor who plays the character that they've modeled the character on is actually like referred to as the Tom Cruise of Japan.
Really?
Yeah, like he's
Okay.
like the Tom Cruise or the Brad Pitt of Japan.
Okay.
So it's like a big deal that he's in this game.
That's cool. I always like it when they do that. I like it
yeah.
when they put real people in.
Like it's like a really big deal.
And then for everything that we see after that, this looks like Yakuza. Like
Yeah.
it looks a lot like Yakuza. It looks like Yakuza with like a Phoenix Wright reduction on top of it. Like
Yeah, because you're a good guy. You're not a criminal. You're
Right.
You know, there's clearly a tailing mechanic where you're supposed to tail someone and follow them.
Yeah.
There's a camera taking mechanic where you're supposed to take pictures of people doing stuff. You know, as part of your job.
Yeah, and then I could tell you that when I was watching this, the thing that I was like super afraid of was like, oh shit, is it just going to be like all this? And it's like, nope. Here's a bunch of dumb Yakuza flipping off of walls, grabbing a guy's leg, head.
Apparently,
through
his
legs.
fighting style is very different from Kiryu, and he's not as like strong and like up front. Like he's more. It's more of a
Like agile.
and fluid
Yeah.
fighting style.
Which definitely comes through. Well, one of the most interesting things is that I feel like recently with both Yakuza 6 and then Yakuza Kiwami 2, both of those like took away the multiple styles of fighting, which appear to be totally back here. That they're like it's even got the same like color schema of like blue for regular and like gold for fast and like red for strong.
Yeah.
And this trailer is like the music on it is like this
it looks
weird
great.
like 90s
Sounds great. Yeah,
song in the background, and like it looks a lot. It strangely, there's parts of it that look even more like brutal than Yakuza. Like Yakuza is all about beating up 100 guys, but like there's a lot more like the grenades and guns and murder, and then people yelling at each other, and we're jumping out of buildings, and then we had a whole second trailer that also showed like you said, like tailing, like using a drone to take PI pictures of cheating spouses. I like the idea that they show of taking pictures of things with your phone and then having to use those in like conversations
Yeah.
to, because I feel like so many games these days have a photo mode, but then it doesn't really do anything. Like you can take a cool photo and put it on Twitter. Make Kratos smile like an asshole, or make it look like a jet's about to go up Spider-Man's butt. But like, I like the idea of using that, especially in a game. I mean, Yakuza is good at this kind of. They're good at this kind of stuff. Yeah, I am super down.
Oh yeah, no,
I am super down for this.
It's coming out in Japan in December, and then it just says coming soon to the West. So no release date for us yet.
Right.
But ooh, do I want this game?
Yeah, and then also apparently a bunch of wackadoo mini games.
Yeah, well, so like there's also like part of like we talked about how you have to tail people without being seen. You have to take pictures of people. Also, there will be points where you have to go in disguise.
Oh yeah, he's a total Dracula.
So you can wear costumes to fit the situation to blend in, and things like that. And then also in true Yakuza fashion, you can go play like arcade games and like other types of games.
I forgot about it until we were scrolling through this trailer about like one of those costumes that he dressed up as a fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I need for this case? Only Dracula could solve this particular
The only way he would never notice me is if I was Dracula.
If I was a Dracula. I like the idea that it's not even a costume. It's like his alter ego. He's like, this is it kind of like how Spider-Man does the Spider Cop thing in Spider-Man. He's like, I don't think I could solve this by myself. This is a case for Dracula lawyer. He just does that thing like Kiryu where he pulls all of his clothes off and he's always wearing a Dracula costume underneath his cool leather jacket.
What's funny is I think that's actually like an actual like movie franchise in like Korea, like Dracula lawyer or vampire lawyer or something like that.
Wow, that sounds awesome. It's actually interesting because one of the things that I found about this trailer is what they showed like a running after somebody minigame, like with little quick time events. And it's weird to me because that shit was in Yakuza, and then they took it out, and now it's in this game, but not in Yakuza anymore. So
hey, I am excited. Like everything about this game is hitting all the right buttons for me.
Also,
everything I'm seeing.
This engine that they've been using since Yakuza 6, my God, does it look good.
Also, I like the fact that there's one scene. They don't touch on it, but it's real quick.
Yep.
He's on a fucking skateboard.
Yep.
And he kicks a guy in a moving vehicle.
He does a kick flip and then kicks the guy.
Ollie kick flip and then kicks the guy in the face.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God, I hope I can do that often.
I hope that there's some kind of mini game that's just about skateboarding around and kicking people out of their cars. Yeah, everything about this looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I could not be happier that this is a thing and that it's coming. I keep saying this, and it continues to be true, John. I do not know what it is about the last 2 years where I'm just like 100% into Yakuza now. Like, I played 4, and I was like, eh. And you remember when you and I and Amanda played 5 like 2 Christmases ago or something like that? And I was like, okay. And I got other games to play. I may come back to it. Never did. But now I'm just like, fuck yes. Like, I'm trying to be like, I really want to finish Spider-Man, but I really like playing Yakuza Kiwami 2, and I kind of want to go back to it. But yeah, this looks amazing, and if you haven't watched this Project Judge thing, you should totally go watch the 5-minute trailer.
They're subtitled, so you don't have to worry about dialogue.
Yep.
It's amazing. It looks great. I am excited for it.
Absolutely, positively, goddamn amazing. So TGS is going on, and we have some trailers from TGS, not all the trailers from TGS, but and it should tell everyone out here. Okay, so everybody knows that I put the Nintendo Direct up front because it was a big thing, and that was like, right, that was the lead for this week.
Yeah.
But then I put that Project Judge trailer before the new Sekiro Shadows Die Twice trailer. That should tell everybody out there something. That I hate Dark Souls now, and I only love Yakuza and all the games that come out from the Yakuza franchise.
Okay.
No, we got a new Sekiro trailer. This one is a little strange. It's not like there's not as much. You know what I feel like this one was is that we got to see some bosses.
Yeah,
was kind of the big takeaway, right? There was some stuff in the beginning where we saw kind of, the arm and some of the gameplay of the sneaking, some platforming stuff that we already knew. Actually, I don't know if people who haven't been kind of like digging into this stuff actually realize that one of the big differences in Sekiro is that there's like a dedicated jump button, and
Yeah.
like we see in this trailer, him literally just kind of like jumping and traversing and doing things like that. It looks like a much more vertical game than any of the Souls or Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But then kind of towards the end, I feel like we see a lot of boss stuff. Like there's some kind of cryptic, you know what he's got the sword that I think probably ties into the ability to come back to life,
Yeah.
and some kind of demon sword. But then, yeah, we see some other stuff, including a big Bloodborne monster at the very end. But I do like there's like an old lady who's like walking on like spider webs. We've got like the kind of bigger bosses, kind of your Souls like oversized human looking bosses that are going to come at you. And then, yeah, at the very, very end of the trailer, like a giant kind of like monkey wolf yeti looking motherfucker who's totally got all that wavy Bloodborne fur
Yeah.
that we've seen a bunch of times before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still maintain that I couldn't be happier. Like, for me, this is just like a wonderful time. It's a wonderfully exciting time to be a gamer because, yes, there's bullshit like 2K19 and Star Wars Battlefront and, you know, Black Ops and all this bullshit, right? But by the same token, you know, Miyazaki's making this, like Kojima's making Death Stranding, like Ken Levine is still out there somewhere making whatever that thing is that he's making with that little team at I guess it's 2K, right? It has the stuff. You know, we got Red Dead 2 coming out. Like, there's just a lot of stuff to get excited about. Project Judge, like, there's a lot of stuff to get really excited about. And I continue to be really excited about Sekiro. I like the way that it looks very different. I was ready to move on to something that wasn't Souls. I do, though. I've been asking this before. I don't know if I've asked it to you, John. What do you think the odds are that From Software will bring up another team to make a Dark Souls 4? Like that, because Miyazaki doesn't want to do it anymore, but like that they realize that Souls is so much of a cash cow that they have to put out a 4.
I don't think they'll put out a 4.
You don't think so?
Having said that,
Prequel spinoff?
no, I think they'll do something in the vein. If they do anything,
Yeah.
it'll be in the vein of going from Demon Souls to Dark Souls or from Dark Souls to Bloodborne. It'll be something in that style of game,
Yeah.
but off to the side in its own thing that's
Yeah.
not connected to any of the others, but it's in that same style, so people will lump it into that group. Because I would like to believe Miyazaki when he's like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that game anymore. Like, I would like for him to see Bloodborne 2. I know a lot of people would like to see Bloodborne 2, but I would also be okay if he went and did another game in that style, but is in a completely different
I tell you what,
setting or whatever.
there are these mock-ups online for like what would Dark Souls look like if it was set in like the modern day, and I kind of like that. Like, I would kind of be interested in that. But anyway, Sekiro coming out next year. Yeah,
But I am glad that he's stretching his legs a little bit, trying something different, or going back to an old style of game that he before Dark Souls.
I mean, you could almost say that Sekiro looks a lot like if you took Tenku and then added
Yeah.
in a bunch of kind of Soulsian the lessons from Dark Souls to try to make an interesting game. Let's see. From there, we got a new Assassin's Creed Odyssey trailer. There's actually a big old I think somewhere there's actually a big old 25-minute gameplay chunk out. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I do know though that I continue to be excited about this game.
I didn't realize it came out in October.
Yep. I actually went through and created a spreadsheet of what it looks like for Rage Select until about the end of the year, and just use the upcoming to be modified obviously, but just use the upcoming release list. And I was just like, oh shit, we're getting into it. We are getting into it because
Yeah.
woo.
Yeah, I mean, I want to play this game, but at the same time, I honestly did not think it was coming out this year.
Yeah. And
this was as of earlier today. Only just realized it's coming out in October.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like everything that I'm seeing in this. I'm hoping that it's good. I hope that they do a little bit of refinement on the combat from Assassin's Creed. What was the last one? Origins. Because I felt that was a little bit. It could have used a little bit more work, but I don't know. It still looks extremely nice. I like Rome as a setting.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Let's see. Next up, Dead or Alive 6 has a release date and a trailer that is at once just completely ridiculous and so serious about itself that I have a hard time with it a little bit. The fact that there are T-Rexes and giant octopus arms
and fucking pterodactyls and
yeah. I
don't. Is there like a crossover with Jurassic World?
I don't think so. It could be a crossover with Monster Hunter, and then it's also got Final Fantasy 15 in it. So Noctis is one of the characters that you could play.
Well, that's Tekken. So.
Well, Noctis is a game whore. He'll go to whatever your game is. You just pay Square Enix a little bit of money. You get like $25. You can have Noctis in your game. It's fine. It's fine. You can have him on your gum. You can have him on your podcast. You can have him anywhere.
Why don't we get him on our podcast?
Because I fuck Noctis. I don't like him. Anyway, I've been out of the Dead or Alive loop, and there is nary a jiggle to be found in this entire trailer.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't played Dead or Alive since I want to say 3.
I think I played 5. We played 5 on Rage Select at one point.
4? Was that the one with Master Chief?
Probably.
Or not Master Chief, but it was a Spartan.
Maybe.
Female Spartan warrior.
This looks more dynamic than I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it does.
When I played Dead or Alive. But yeah, there's also dinosaurs. So I'm sure that Matt Frank will be totally into it.
Yeah. There's also water slides and
laser bars. There's all kinds of fucking craziness going on here. Oh, also, I didn't put it on the list because I already have a million videos, but what you saw Cervantes is in Soul Calibur.
Yeah, a lot of Soul Calibur stuff still going on.
And one more fighting game, kind of one that I didn't see coming. New Samurai Showdown game. Samurai Spirits, 3D Samurai Showdown, but still, like you said, it's on a 2D plane, 3D model characters. Looks really cool. I've always really loved the Samurai Showdown series. I like the fact that we definitely see a bunch of the kind of finishing blood moves in here. I was never any good at it.
Oh, I was never good at any of the SNK games, but I love all of them.
Yeah, but I really do like it.
I am a huge nerd for SNK games.
When was the last Samurai Showdown game that came out?
Oh, God, that was a while back. If I'm not mistaken, the last one was kind of garbage.
Okay.
Because it was it was 3D, but it was like 3D plane.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was trying to compete with Soul
Calibur or Tekken or whatever.
Yeah, and it wasn't good.
Well, this looks pretty amazing, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, I have to say that last year I not a lot, but I got a little bit into King of Fighters. I enjoyed that. And then the stupid SNK Heroines game.
Yeah,
I don't really know about that one. It just seemed too simplistic.
Never played it. You played it with somebody other than me.
I did. I'm sorry, John. After we watched every single trailer that came out,
you forced me to watch every trailer that came out,
and then we didn't actually play it.
Yeah. You played it with somebody else.
I'm a real son of a bitch.
Yeah, Amanda was upset about you didn't play it with her because it was a giant booby game, and she got the shaft, and
Yep. It's all right. I'm making it up to her with Super Seducer too. So, we'll...
Okay.
All right, let's see. Next up, we got... I should have put this one with Sekiro. We got a trailer for Deracine, which is the Miyazaki PSVR game from Software, which I remember way early on in the PSVR development, and it was people developing PSVR games, and From Software's on there, and I was like, oh, it's going to be like a Bloodborne VR game. And nope. It's a...
And then at E3, they showed a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really tell us anything.
Nope.
And then now there's this trailer, which still doesn't tell us anything.
You're a fairy, John.
Yeah, you can
be a fairy. Apparently, it's going to be some kind of walking around, kind of discovering a story.
Very similar to what the hell is that game called? A VR game, something Hours or whatever, where you're Nikola Tesla's in it, and he's been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where just a bunch of shit is happening, and you're an invisible fly on the wall, just walking around discovering the full story.
I think there's going to be more to it, and the way that these trailers have been put together.
You think there's actual gameplay here?
Well, I don't know how much gameplay there's going to be because it's it seems too fast for me.
Okay.
And I don't think it's going to be secretly a Souls game, right? Like that there's going to be like a boss fight. But I do get the impression from watching these trailers that there's something fucked up going on. That it's not a feel good game. That there's going to be some kind of bullshit turn when you actually get to play this game. Everything's all washed out, and they're in this weird thing, and you don't really see anybody's faces all that much. I don't know. We'll see on November 6th. So, yep. From there. We got a gameplay trailer for Pathologic 2, which if I've got this correctly, I'm pretty sure that Pathologic 2 is Pathologic 1 remade, which is weird because Pathologic 1 came out and then they put out Pathologic HD, which was like a new translation and a bunch of updated textures and stuff for Pathologic 1, and then I'm pretty sure that Pathologic 2 is just Pathologic 1, but kind of completely remade from the ground up to make it more accessible.
I know nothing about Pathologic, so
it's a weird game. I mostly put this in here because it's a fascinating game that I don't think I ever want to play. It's one of those Russian games, right? That was created. It's got a very like Eastern European bent to it, and it's like you play as either one of 3 different characters that come to this town where this plague is racking the town. But it's very surreal, and you have to interact with people. You have to like go to houses that have sickness. You have to manage your own sickness, and then like things happen, and there's like this weird meta plot. I highly recommend anybody who's interested in Pathologic but doesn't want to actually play it to either wait for this one and give it a try, even though I don't think this is going to be. I don't know. I have low hopes about whether or not this is going to end up. But Bonfire Side Chat did a whole episode. Not Bonfire Side Chat. Watch Out for Fireballs did a whole episode about Pathologic, where they essentially go over the entire game and then condense it so that you don't have to play the game yourself. So, but yeah, this trailer looks interesting. It's just, Pathologic is a game that was kind of like cripplingly obtuse. So this trailer also seems cripplingly obtuse.
Okay. No, it does.
So I don't know, but it looks nice. It's got a nicer lighting engine than they used to have. All the character models look different. Interesting. Let's see. Gungrave is putting out a real crappy PS5 or PSVR version of the game, but apparently there's going to be a new Gungrave Gore, and it's being made by a whole bunch of people whose names I don't know. And not being a big fan of Gungrave, I can honestly say that I don't really. I mean, I'm interested, but this trailer doesn't really show very much. So.
I have a very weird relationship with this franchise.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like I want to like it. I remember enjoying the PS2 game that came out that literally had no plot, and it was just if it did have a plot, it was very minuscule.
Right.
And then I remember them going, "Hey, we're gonna make an anime based on this game." I was like, "Cool." Watch the beginning of this is nothing like the game.
Yeah.
I don't even know who these characters are. None of these characters are in that game.
It's weird.
That's weird. And then they apparently released another Gungrave game after that was more in line with the anime.
Yeah.
And I don't fucking know.
It's real odd to me because it's a game franchise that I never really got into, and so it's kind of just like off to one side. Like I think that I got my hands on the original Gungrave and tried playing it and was like, I don't know. Like God Hand, right? One that just like kind of slipped by, and I was like, So I might try it when it comes out on PSVR, but and also this is such a teaser. This Gungrave Gore trailer is such a teaser that it doesn't really tell us next to anything. So, yeah. Let's see. Next up from there, we had a trailer for Fist of the North Star, The Lost Paradise, and the Dragon of Dojima is in it.
He enters the wasteland.
Yep. He is punching people and doing his Kiryu thing. It's a little weird to see Kiryu kick somebody's head all the way off their body because he generally doesn't like murder people. But apparently this is going to be a free skin that you can get and add into the game for a limited time.
Yeah, I do appreciate that that there's a thing where he powers up and his shirt disappears.
Oh, yeah.
It burns off his actual shirt and then he's shirtless.
Yep. It's funny because a demo came out for this on the PlayStation 4. I downloaded it, and then I decided I don't want to play that. I want to come into this one fresh because I like that team, and I've always been Fist curious. Is that how you say it?
I mean, I always liked the Fist of the North Star movie.
Yeah, I think there was like one anime that came out like in the 90s.
Well, I know there was
that
a
I
movie, and then
watched.
there was also a series.
Right.
And I want to say I only watched the movie, and then I also watched the American-made live-action movie because
What?
Yeah. So the thing about that one is it has two somewhat the main three characters are like, if you watched a lot of cheap action movies, like the guy is like this Australian martial artist guy who plays the main character that you would probably recognize from every like 90s and late 80s early 90s martial arts movie.
Right.
The lead female was the MTV VJ Downtown Julie Brown. And the other lead character or supporting character was the guy who played Rufio in Hook.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lineup right there.
Yeah, it's not that great, but I own that movie, and it's well. So and there's a whole story which I'm not going to go into of why I own that movie,
Sure.
along with certain other movies that I own. Yeah, so
Not very good.
it's okay. It's not bad, but it's very. Oh, fucking Malcolm McDowell's in it as well. Or no,
Sure.
it's either Malcolm McDowell or Ian McDowell. I can't remember which one it is, but one of them's in it for like a brief second.
The guy from Tank Girl, Malcolm McDowell.
Yes.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes, Malcolm
Yeah.
McDowell.
Okay.
He's like in it for all of like 5 seconds.
Right.
Like he's in the opening monologue and then he kind of like dies, but like in a very anime, like disappears and his energy goes off, and then it goes into the story, and then he kind of like monologues over the movie at certain spots.
Malcolm McDowell. He had bills at one point. He was in Tank Girl and Wing Commander 4.
I fucking love both of those.
Anyway, go get your Kiryu Kazama skin if you got Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise October 2nd to October 15th. Next up, I had forgotten what Left Alive was until we started watching it. So if you've forgotten what Left Alive was, this was announced at E3, I believe. And it was like the character designer from Metal Gear,
Yeah.
and like the producer of like some of the Final Fantasy games. And I didn't realize it until I looked at the Wikipedia page. This takes place in the Front Mission universe.
Yeah.
Because fucking I've been wanting a Front Mission game for a long time, and this does not seem like a Front Mission game. This seems like a Metal Gear game that just happens to take place in a world that has gigantic robots that blow each other up. And everybody's just very earnest and serious, and they all legislate military people. I'm actually really excited for this. I don't know. What do you think, John?
I think it looks interesting.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have much to say on it because I don't think I've actually played any of the Front Mission games.
Yeah.
And you know, I outside of that, I think it looks interesting.
It's got such a Metal Gear vibe to it. Between
does.
the military stuff and then the way that it's framed, the way the characters look, and then the giant robots, like it's really tapping a bunch of Metal Gear brain parts for me. So I'm interested. I'm very interested in this. Like, if you haven't watched this trailer from TGS for Left Alive, go check it out because it's pretty interesting. It's also all in English, right?
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
So let's see. A real weird one here. Dying Light Bad Blood was put into early access this week. And this is a battle royale game with 12 people set in the zombie parkour universe of Dying Light, which I actually really like. I really like Dying Light. And then you're having to collect like a certain amount of like zombie blood and then get it out. And all the while you're in it with 12 other people that are all kind of trying to murder you. It's I really like this is a really dynamic trailer. Like, it makes it look really fun, you know, especially with the parkour kind of trying to like chase people. I like the one where the guy, he's running and he hits he hits a propane tank, and then there's a button in Dying Light that lets you just like look behind you, and then he like looks behind it and it blows up. But it looks interesting. This is currently on Steam for $20, and if this week wasn't already just jam packed to the gills, I would totally say that we should check it out. But if I've got to choose between the Blackout beta or this Dying Light spinoff, I think I'll probably go with Blackout instead. but it still looks really interesting. I'm a big fan of Dying Light, so I don't know. Check it out. Let's see. There's a Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry trailer.
God, this game has been so long. It was supposed to come out so long ago. I remember when this went up as a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And this was Kickstarted around the same time that Double Fine did their Double Fine Adventure Kickstarter.
Oh, really?
Like, this was like shortly after that.
Yeah.
And everyone went, oh shit, you can do video games on there. And then like they announced the title around the same time that D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die came out.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, our game's called Wet Dreams Don't Dry, because to make fun of that for some reason. No one understood why they chose that game to parody the title. And then now it's so fucking far removed from the release of that game that it's almost like, why keep
Well,
that
I swear
title?
he's making another game at this point.
Yeah,
but
it's...
I was actually looking at this and I'm wondering whether this style of game, whether Leisure Suit Larry belongs out there in the world. And I'm not saying that like you can't make like a sex joke game, right? You make a game with a bunch of different sex jokes in it. It's just like Larry seems like super sleazy now. Like, I mean, I guess he always was, but even in this trailer, he doesn't seem charming. Like, he just seems gross.
He kind of never seemed charming.
Well, then I don't really understand because I never played these games. So I don't really know why you would want to be a sleazy dude in a video game. So I don't know. It's the art style's not so bad. I wonder whether this is the sort of thing that we're interested in anymore.
Yeah.
We'll find out November 7th, I guess. So, yeah. And then last but not least, we had a very brief teaser. Square Enix is remastering The Last Remnant, which is an old, I believe it was a PlayStation 3, early PS3 JRPG that I remember playing the very, very, very beginning of, and it seemed really strange because it was like instead of party members, you would have like groupings, I guess. I don't know if past the beginning of the game, it still maintains that same style, but like instead of having like one guy, and one guy, you'd have like one team, and then kind of send them to do team stuff.
Okay.
Maybe not, but I am interested in getting a chance to play it again because I missed it the first time it was through, and yeah. Let's see. From there, we've got a couple of quick announcements. This is just kind of the rest of what was going on. There was some stuff that was in here, but I cut it because we were already super long on news. Wolfenstein 3 is definitely going to be a thing. Bethesda said Wolfenstein 3 going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Great. I like the Wolfenstein
Nothing more
franchise.
than that. Just it's going to happen.
Yep. So
basically
cool.
saying that the game that's coming out about his two daughters or whatever, Youngblood, is not Wolfenstein 3. There is a Wolfenstein 3, but that is not it.
Let's see. Fumito Ueda, the creator of Shadow of the Colossus, is working on a new game, apparently of a similar scale to Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. So
expect that to come out in like 12 years.
God damn it, that was my joke.
Oh. Well, you should be quicker on the draw.
I was just
You can't wait 12 years to make the joke, Jeff.
Oh, and then he doubled down. He took my joke and he made it even better. So yeah, look out for that. Apparently, at some point, maybe, I don't know. Creative Assembly, the team that made Alien Isolation, is apparently working on a new sci-fi game.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's original IP, so it's not another Alien game. I thought Alien Isolation was a little too long, but Creative Assembly, I like them, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then let's see. I think we got enough time to get a couple of questions in here. Space Channel 5 is coming out on PSVR.
Yeah. VR game. I know Space Channel 5 is a rhythm game. I've never really played them, so I can't really speak of them.
Yeah. It's ooh la la.
Yeah.
It looks weird, and I can only imagine, like, are you going to be dancing with the PlayStation controllers? Because you could, right?
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I see them doing in this video
is not anything like too...
Yeah, you could totally do it. Like, you could totally get these poses with the PSVR move controllers and the head tracking. So, I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. I never played Space Channel 5. I know that, like, Ulala is kind of like a
reporter.
Cult,
yeah,
like a cult favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about character. Like she's like a reporter in the game. But
Oh.
yeah, no, yeah, she's a cult fan favorite kind of thing as far as actual people go.
Yeah. And then last but not least, John, I thought this would be just for you, but apparently not. Alan Wake might be coming to live action.
Yeah,
TV
no, I'm actually
series.
kind of excited about this.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't really announce too much about it. Apparently, the guy who's going to be like the producer of the show, or who owns the company that's going to make it.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been hounding them since the release of Alan Wake to turn it into a TV series. It is interesting because the company that's the production company has only made movies and web shows.
Interesting.
And even the movies haven't really been all that.
Which movies?
Well, they made the Dead Rising movies that were on Crackle. They also are responsible for that Mortal Kombat web series.
The like realistic one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they were responsible for that. They've done some other movies, like they've never done like an actual TV show, which I think is interesting.
Okay.
But like his thing was like, I don't want to do a movie. This is a movie. This game is structured like a TV show, and it needs to be done like a TV show. And Sam Lake is apparently going to be an executive producer on it, and he's going to have his hands in it as well.
Right.
So that's good. They've stated that the series is not going to be a point for point remake of the game.
Yeah.
Because while yes, Alan Wake will be the primary character, they're going to use this as an opportunity to flesh out some of the side characters, like, do more with Barry Wheeler, do more about his wife, because I feel like in the game the wife's not really like
She just kind of goes away in the very beginning.
she goes away and then she comes back at the end, and you
Right.
don't really get a lot with her.
Yeah.
So they'll probably do some fleshing out with her. They'll probably do some stuff with Dr. Emile and Rose, the waitress at the bar. I do feel like they may have to make some changes with the Lady of the Light, because she's way too close to the Log Lady from Twin Peaks, because she was an allegory for the Log Lady
Right.
of Twin Peaks.
Right. Because that game has a lot of like Twin Peaks references in it.
I feel like they may have to change some stuff. There's no cast announced. It's literally they are just going to studios and pitching. Apparently, they have some studios that are already interested, but they're going to go in with the pitch of a show and
apparently they've contracted this guy Peter Calloway to be be the showrunner
Yes.
who did Brothers and Sisters, Cloak and Dagger, but also Legion, which
Yeah.
Legion was very good.
Yes,
So,
yeah. No. They said that not only are they using the first game and even some elements of
American
Nightmare as inspiration for the show, they're also using concepts that did not get used for the game, the first game, and also concepts that were being developed for what they would have made Alan Wake 2 had Microsoft given them the go-ahead.
Fair enough.
And they doubled down on the fact that the reason there is no Alan Wake 2 is because Microsoft would not give them the go-ahead because Microsoft partially owns the rights for the games.
Boo, Microsoft, boo. Okay, and that's our news. And let's see, we've got about 30 minutes. Let's just do a couple questions.
Yeah.
Mail@ragesite.com is the email address. Let me pull up my questions here. Our first question this week comes in from Sam from the UK. And Sam says, greetings, Jeff and John.
Yo.
Last week, as you were aware, this was sent in a little while back. Last week, as you were aware, we got a huge look at one of the industry's biggest titles, Cyberpunk 2077, with a roughly 40-minute dive into the game's many mechanics and choices. However, I think it's safe to say that this has done very little to calm people online, which is why I've decided to ignore the recent demo along with all other trailers until the game is finally in peak condition on its eventual release. My question to you, are there any games, be they past or future, that you wish you could have remained completely oblivious to so as to feel truly surprised by what the game has to offer? I understand in your position it's centrally hard nowadays to go in blind, but I'm interested on your thoughts all the same. Thanks again for all your hard work. Your loving fan, Sam from the UK.
So I'll admit I haven't watched that 45-minute demo thing. Like I literally watched the E3 trailer, and I've been devoid of Cyberpunk stuff outside of that.
Okay.
Truthfully, I can't think of a game that I went into a media blackout or wish I had done a media blackout before it came out. Because typically, if it's a game that I just want to play, I guess I subconsciously just ignore trailers and stuff. But also at the same time, I love watching trailers.
Yeah.
So none of them feel like, oh man, I wish I hadn't watched that trailer or hadn't watched that playthrough of it.
I would say for me, lots. That there are lots. Like, in fact, it's interesting to me because you and I are both, I think, right about the same place in Spider-Man right now.
Yeah, we're about 60% through.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, I think we're right around the same area.
And the thing is that I know that raft sequence that was that they showed at E3 is coming up, and wow, that's a really impressive sequence. But I've kind of already seen it. Like, I kind of wish that game, that if they were going to show an E3 chunk, I know that they probably wanted to show off a lot of powers, but the very beginning of the game with Wilson Fisk and taking him down and that stuff, I feel like that's a better thing to show because, like, I know that raft part is coming, and when it comes, it's like, oh, hey, here's that thing that I've already seen, where, you know, you got all the different villains. Like, it would have been interesting in Spider-Man because Spider-Man, like, and there's a couple of other examples that I will say, but like Spider-Man has so many villains that I feel like when and if you haven't watched the trailers for Spider-Man, maybe I don't like to do spoilers, but I'm going to try to talk around this, but there's still a chance here. But there is a character who is one of the villains who should be a surprise, who was shown in like the second or third trailer, who, because he doesn't wear a costume and just kind of turns into the evil guy, like when that character shows up in the story, it's like, oh, I know exactly who that is.
We can talk about it off camera.
You know who I'm talking about?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Is the only villain that doesn't like wear a costume, right? He's like kind of a secret villain that you don't know he's a villain. Or like, if you were to just play Spider-Man, he would come across as a character that your character is interacting with, who then suddenly it's like, oh shit, that guy's a bad guy. I didn't know he was a bad guy. So anyway, it doesn't really matter, but like Spider-Man has such a huge rogues gallery that like it would have been nice not to have so much coverage, so that when like Electro shows up, you're like, holy shit, it's Electro.
Okay, no,
right?
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
You know, in fact, I have a feeling I know where things are going, but then the problem with that too is, Sam, sometimes I wish that I could just erase everything from my brain, because I'm playing Spider-Man and I like the way that they're kind of remixing things in this game.
Yeah.
But like, Peter Parker is interning with Otto Octavius, trying to make mechanical arms. And I'm like, well, I know who Otto Octavius is. It's like every time that a Batman show has Harvey Dent show up, and it's like, oh no, what's going to happen to Harvey Dent? Well, I know what's going to happen to Harvey Dent because I know who Harvey Dent is, right? So in a lot of ways, there's foreknowledge that you have that I wish I couldn't have. But a lot of times it's so ubiquitous. Like, I often wonder what it would be like to go back and watch Batman versus Superman if I could somehow erase the backstories of both Batman and Superman from, or maybe not Superman, but Batman, right? Because I've seen Batman's parents get killed so many fucking times. And the movie has to do that in case there's like one person there who's like, wait a minute, why did this guy become a Batman? And everybody's like, his parents got killed. Her name was Martha. Pearls. There's an alley. Zorro. But like, I wish that I could go in and see that stuff fresh sometimes.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's true in games as well. Like, even that Project Judge trailer that we were watching, like, I kind of wish, I mean, like, I appreciate it. I'm excited by it, and I really want to play that game. But, like, the fact that they show you what happens at the beginning of the game and then tell you the inciting incident about what makes that character go to become a private investigator may have had a little bit more oomph if I was just playing the game. And I was like, because now when I start the game and they cut to lawyer's office, it's like, well, I kind of know what's going to happen, you know, from here. It's one of the reasons that I appreciate the fact that the Death Stranding trailers are so fucking strange, and that's one of the things I like about Kojima is that he's so cagey that like he doesn't want to show you anything ahead of time.
Yeah, I am going to laugh out loud if the Death Stranding game comes out and it turns out every piece of footage that we've seen prior to the game coming out is not in the game.
I already know, because I've read articles that apparently, like, there have been reports that, as always, there have been reports of people who are like, oh, Death Stranding, I don't know, I saw it at a demo and it kind of looked a little boring. And then, like, there are people who work for Kojima who are like, you're not going to understand what this game is until you play it for like 12 hours. Like, it changes over time.
Yeah.
And so seeing a 10-minute vertical slice of it, you're going to be like, oh, that's boring. But like, one, we're not trying to show you what happens at the end of the game. And two, to show you more of it would just ruin the experience for you when you finally go ahead and do it.
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, no, I can't really think of anything because, like I said, I think I unintentionally, for games that I know that I'm not gonna want to be spoiled on, and I want to go in blind.
Yeah.
I think I watched like one trailer and then unintentionally I just stop.
Yeah.
Like, I think I might have done that with Until Dawn in games like that. Like, I even think with Detroit Become Human, I saw the first trailer and then I never watched any other trailer after that because I knew I was going to want to play that.
Right.
So...
I was looking through my games here and I was like, I really like the fact that when I went to go play RE7 that I didn't know that much about it. And then that whole opening sequence with her throwing you all around just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, holy shit, like this is intense, you know. I think that my current worst example is the Thor Ragnarok trailer. I know this is not a game trailer, but like I really wish there was a way that I could have gone into that movie not knowing the Hulk was in it. Because they showed the Hulk in the very first teaser, and there's a whole build up to that, and I kind of wish that I could have gone in, and it's like the champion, and then Hulk comes out, and then I could be like, holy shit, there's Hulk! I haven't seen him in like 3 movies. He just flew off at the end of Age of Ultron, and oh fuck, he's back! Like, but I already knew that Hulk was in the movie because they showed that, and it it's a great part. It makes for a great trailer moment. It's wonderful, but I really think there's something to holding back, just holding back and letting people kind of see that stuff for themselves. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of what's the next narrative game that comes out, John. I mean, like I appreciate the fact that that Yakuza or the Fist of the North Star hasn't really talked much about the plot of Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
Or even like the Yakuza trailers, are very, or even the second half of that Project Judge trailer where it's just like jumping off a building and oh shit, there's a grenade and like, this is a bunch of cars, but like they weren't explaining the way the whole plot was going to go to you. It was just, an action montage that you could just look at and be like, wow, that looks exciting. I'm really into that. I'm looking at my thing here. Bard's Tale, Valkyria Chronicles, Life is Strange, Fist of the North Star.
I'll even go Valkyria Chronicles. I watched that first trailer, and outside of playing the demo, which the demo did exactly what I wanted it to do, which is to tell me that it wasn't Valkyria Revolution or whatever that fucking spinoff title was.
Yep.
That it was a different game than that. And the trailers, like literally, I have stopped watching anything else. Like I know there's already reviews of the game out, and I haven't really looked at them because I know I'm already going to get the game. So
yeah, I think that part of it is I'm actually looking at a bunch of the stuff, and I think that most of this stuff is pretty good. Is pretty good about. I don't know that much about a lot of the stuff that's coming out. But then there's some games that I want to know more about. Like the Red Dead trailers to me have been very sparse. Like I don't feel much of a connection with the main character in that game. I don't really feel like I know as much as I did about John Marston. But
yeah.
Anyway, so sometimes, Sam, a lot of times video games are better than movies. I feel like movies tend to give a lot away in the trailers.
Well, excuse me. I also feel like that's because movies are always like, what is it, 90 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're lucky. Whereas a video game is always like 10 hours or more. So it's a lot easier to cut a video game trailer that doesn't, like, you have a lot to work with.
Right. It's hard to give away the entire story.
Whereas with the movie, you kind of have to show certain beats.
Right.
Or else it just kind of looks boring.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Let's see. Based on our conversation last week, let's see. Finiox Glade writes in and says, "Hey, Rage Like Podcast, I'm just letting John know that he made the right choice to not collect vinyl. While my collection is small, under 200 albums, it's got a bunch of weird and random video game soundtracks, i.e. the sequel to the classic Xbox Live game Charlie Murder, and super colorful orange vinyl release of Scott Pilgrim, because vinyl collection is all about the physicality of the media. What things do you gravitate to particular releases, be that for video games, books, or movies?" Finiox Glade from back in the loading bar days, and here's some pictures of my Journey I Am 8-Bit release on my custom Technique 1200 Mark II Arctic White deck.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice. It's like the record has the Journey
Yeah.
character, and then the sash goes all the way around it. So
Yeah, no, that's cool.
that's kind of cool. So what do you I don't do much physical collecting, but are there traits out of like collector's editions or box sets or things like that appeal
when it comes
you?
to comic books, I like oversized hardcovers.
Okay.
I fucking love gigantic fucking oversized hardcovers.
Really?
Like DC's or Marvel's absolute or Marvel's omnibus editions, DC's absolute editions. Those are fucking just I want them in that format than any other format.
Yeah.
I'm actually really pissed off because the Power Rangers comic had an oversized year one, collected the first 12 issues of the Power Rangers comic, and they underprinted it so badly that stores pre-ordered it and then got told it was on back order. And then I actually talked to some Boom representatives at Power Morphicon when I was in California, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, that's never coming back in print."
Oh wow!
Like, and it was just like, so Volume 2 is about to come out. There's a very good chance I can get Volume 2. Can't ever get Volume 1 because it's never coming back in print.
Yeah.
And I can't find it anywhere. And any place you can find it wants to jack the price up like $400.
Yep.
Because they're so limited. But yeah, I love oversized hardcovers because I like to be able to, one, I like hardcovers because, you know, they're, when you lay them flat, it's a hard surface and they're not like bending down.
Sure.
And, I can put it in my lap and read on a flat surface. And I just like the oversized, like I just like giant because you get to really see the art and everything in it.
I've always had a hard time with those when I have I've had a few oversized comics back when I used to collect them because it's harder to like read them, to sit with one holding one in your lap, right?
Yeah.
With
I will say some of Marvel's earlier omnibuses were really bad because the omnibuses, I don't know if you're aware of what those are. They're
like collections.
They're like a giant fucking collection that's like the entire run of something.
Right.
And like I have like the Frank Miller Daredevil omnibus, which is like the entire run of Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
And it like some of these earlier ones, they're hard to read, not because they're unwieldy, but because they're so thick that there's a lot of gutter loss. Which for anyone who doesn't know what gutter loss is, it's when you have a book flat, there's like the pages kind of go into this like gutter area,
right?
And because the comics, the way they're printed, the sum of the page gets lost in that gutter area where you can't read it,
right?
They've done a better job at fixing that, of printing it in a way so that that's not affecting anything anymore. So the more newer ones are a lot better, but that, like, comic wise, that's what I go for. When it comes to like movies, I typically don't do collector's editions unless it's like a very specific thing. Like I'll do like complete series box sets of TV shows.
Would you be willing? I mean, would you like pay extra to get it in like in a, I don't know, like a Batman head or like a Matrix of Leadership? Or like
well, I mean, my
Green Lantern,
my
thing or
Transformers box, my complete animated series Transformers box set looks like a Matrix of Leadership.
Okay.
I have the complete animated series of the G.I. Joe cartoon as well, which looks like a little G.I. Joe footlocker, like a little military footlocker. You open it up and it's got everything in it. I also really like the Marvel movie Phase box sets. Like the first one comes in a Shield briefcase.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The second one comes in the thing from Guardians of the Galaxy that has the Infinity Stone inside of it. The ball thing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they haven't announced a third one yet. I really like those. But like I don't do a lot of movie box sets outside of that. Like I've gotten a few. Like I've got like the Office Space one, which was gifted to me by my sister. I've got like the HD DVD version of Blade Runner in the briefcase.
Okay.
That I can't watch because it's HD DVD and my HD DVD player doesn't exist anymore. And you can't sell those?
Nope.
Because like the places that I found that would take them were like, yeah, we'll give you 3 cents for each one of those. Oh, that Blade Runner box set, we'll give you $1. It's like, go fuck yourself. So I don't really do box sets unless they're like collections.
Yeah.
And typically for movies, I don't really care about like the fancy schmancy thing. Like there was a Power Rangers complete 20-year collection that came in a Red Ranger helmet. I didn't want that. I didn't buy it. Like I don't think I need that.
Okay.
The video games are a little bit different. It just depends on what comes in the collector's edition. Like it's very much like if there's something in that collector's edition that seems warranted. Like I know, was it Infamous 2 came with like a backpack, and I fucking love that backpack.
Yeah.
Like I actually wore mine out and it tore and is ruined forever. But I actually had used that as a backpack for good 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Also because it was perfect for putting a tablet inside of it.
I don't know. For me, I don't. I barely have anything on my walls in my house. Like I just don't. I'm not interested. Like I spend so much of my time staring into screens that I'm more interested in what's on the screen than what's around the screen.
Like I think I bought the last collector's edition. I think I bought was the Saints Row 4 collector's edition. The presidential thing where it came with like a little tiny dubstep gun. It came with like the presidential red button that played dubstep music when you play it.
Okay.
And it came with like a little statue of Johnny Gat.
Oh, man.
You know, and then before that, I think I bought the Max Payne collector's edition, which came with a statue of Max Payne.
Okay.
But
yeah, I don't know. That stuff's not for me. I barely have enough room on my shelves to put all my games on, so I don't need more shit to put on there. All right, let's knock it out a couple more of these. Patrick writes in and says, "Hi, Jeff and John. I'm currently at a fork in the road on trying to decide what game to get next for my Switch. There's 3 acclaimed indie titles out that I really want to dive into, but I'm torn between all 3 of them.
Tell me about it.
3 games are Hollow Knight, Hyper Light Drifter, and Dead Cells. I spend about 2 hours on public transit every day, every work day, so I feel like I could eventually get to all 3 of them. But I'd like your thoughts on how you would rank them best to worst. Just short reviews based on what you've played. Smash Bros. Ultimate comes out in December, and I'd like to beat at least one of the 3 before that game takes over my entertainment life. P.S. I'm the type of Smash Brothers fan that those super granular trailers are made for. I sniff up every little detail like a junkie when those come out. Lol. Best regards from a longtime patron, and that's from Patrick. What do you think? Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, and Hyper Light Drifter.
I have not played any of those outside of what little we played of Dead Cells on the Super Awesome Video Game Show a long time ago.
Right on.
I have placed all 3 of those titles on my Nintendo Switch wish list because it does have a wish list function. That is its only purpose is to let you know what games you want or haven't bought yet.
So it's like I can't buy your wish list for you.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a way for you to access my wish list.
Yeah.
But it's more of just a way for me to kind of like going, oh, I can't afford this right now. Put a little thing here, and then when I have money, I can go in there and check it out, kind of thing. I think there's like 3 or 4 games that are on they're kind of indie titles for the Switch that I'm kind of like I need to get, like in addition to those 3. There's like a couple of others. I can't think of what they are off the top of my head, but like I've got a list of like 20 games on my wish list for my Switch.
I've played some of all of those. I've played them. I'll tell you what, though, Patrick, this will tell you what I think. I have played the most of Dead Cells out of the 3 of those. I was really interested in Hyper Light Drifter. I was following it for years. And it's okay, but it's somewhat difficult. And it's kind of unforgiving in that respect. Hollow Knight was something Amanda and I played on Patreon. And, Metroidvania, little bugs, kind of charming. I never went back to it, but I've heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Yeah.
I would say it kind of depends on what you're in the mood for. Like narrative-wise, I would probably say if you're looking for a narrative, it would probably go Hollow Knight, Hyper Light, Dead Cells. Gameplay-wise, I'd probably put it at Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, Hyper Light, and as far as graphical style goes, maybe just reverse that trailer, Hyper Light, Hollow Knight, Dead Cells. I think that Dead Cells is pretty amazing, though, because it solves the procedurally generated Metroidvania thing and then mixes in a healthy dollop of like really fast paced, really kinetic, really satisfying like Dark Souls action. And then the way that the upgrade system over time, you just keep putting money back in to get like more potions or better loot that will drop for you. And as you get used to the various bosses, it's like you can move forward. It's a game that's, you know what, Dead Cells might be the best for a like a bus ride to work because I have not played a session of Dead Cells. My longest Dead Cells session was about 90 minutes total. But in the beginning, you're going to be playing like 15-minute things. And the nice thing about Dead Cells is you always start over from the beginning, right? So like you don't have to. Like if you were playing Hollow Knight and you kind of like set it aside, then forgot what the story was, and you're trying to come back and you're like, wait, what level was I on again? Dead Cells constantly reboots, so I feel like it's a good playing in multiple sessions type of thing. So
Okay. That sounds like a good.
yeah. And let's see. Let's take 1, 2. These are very short, so we'll just take these 2 and then get out of here. This one just says, hey there, Laura here. You've talked about wanting to get back into streaming. Would you stream on YouTube or Twitch? Been a fan since the Loading Bar days. Keep up the great work. Let's Plays and podcasts help me get through the day.
Why not both?
I don't know if OBS, if it takes like, does it take double the bandwidth to do double the streaming?
Oh, I don't know.
If it does, then probably just Twitch because I already have a bunch of people on Twitch that are subscribed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I know I played around with a service that I think they recently changed their name, but they used to be called Lightstream.
Yeah.
That it's all, instead of using like OBS, you use their website interface, and basically you can tell it to stream to multiple things all at once.
Yeah.
So you can have it streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all at once.
Oh, okay.
And it seems pretty good for that. But I don't think it's as intricate or versatile as something like OBS.
Right.
So I don't know if OBS would take up more bandwidth or what it would do exactly.
I have to look into it. I mean, like I have a rollout green screen now that I could put right behind me, so I can kind of do what every other fucking Twitch streamer does: put a webcam and a light on, and then put myself in the corner. The main thing is just right now, like this week has just been slammed from one side to the other. It probably by the middle to late October, I'm going to be. I've talked about this. I've touched on this a few times before, but basically my life is going to be simplifying in a lot of ways. I'm cutting back on the amount of work that I'm doing. Not the amount of work like for Rage Select, because at this point Rage Select's like the highlight of my fucking week. Like I just get to play Spider-Man, right? Like, it's not work, it's playing Spider-Man for an hour or two. So I'm cutting back on some of that, and there's some other stuff that's going on that I'll address at a later date. And I'm really hoping to just get back to doing Rage Select stuff. I had a brainwave the other day. I don't want to run by you when I'm off the air. Sorry, I don't mean to say this in front of everybody else, but like there's another thing that I've been thinking about doing, which I think could be fun. A fun opportunity for people who watch Rage Select and something to help us out. But like, if I have free time, I have been for a long time wanting to do that thing where if you're giving me $5 or more a month, I'm going to turn on the Discord server that's connected to Patreon, and you can just, I may not be chatting every single day, but at least, check in and talk to people and be like, hey guys, how's it going? Playing Spider-Man. Spider-Man's good. What do you guys think about Spider-Man? Hey, what'd you guys have for lunch? I made.
Do you like beans? Do you like a movie starring George Wendt?
Yes.
Would you watch a bean eating movie starring George Wendt?
That's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Hell, I had 2 people this week ask me where the Patreon links, or where the Amazon links were on Rage Select. They're like, I can't find the Amazon links. And I'm like, you know what? I have control of the website via Wix. I just need to put one like on the front page, like in the upper corner that just says Amazon link. And then if you click on that, it just takes you to the page so that you don't even have to muck around going into a blog post or anything. But like, I just need to have a few moments to rub together. So anyway, Laura, the answer to your question is
it would probably be Twitch.
Probably Twitch. If I could find a seamless way to make it both Twitch and YouTube, I don't mind, because I know that a lot of people like watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if my bandwidth has to be higher to do that, then maybe not.
Yeah, I get you.
So, actually, I think we have a little bit more time than I thought. So I'm going to take one more big question and then one more comment, and we'll get out of here. Michael writes in and says, "Dear Jeff and John, I heard someone mention bad ports of great games, and it got me thinking of a particularly annoying occurrence. A group of Let's Players I played a really shitty spin-off of one of my favorite series, Ratchet & Clank, that featured a bad story, boring, different gameplay, and it colored their opinion of the franchise as a whole."
Jeff, when did you play this?
I do know. I love Ratchet and Clank. My question is, are there any examples of hearing someone have a negative opinion about something that you love and know it's good, but the reason being that they just got the worst version or entry? P.S. I would love to know your opinion on the Ratchet and Clank series, if any. And then despite how well regarded the 2016 game with the movie tie-in was, it was in no way indicative of the quality seen in the original PS2 games. Out of all the games I see featured by you guys, I would love to see you talk about it, or Pie in the Sky do a sequential of one of the originals. Those games are easy to blitz through. Thanks for answering, Michael. Michael, I don't know if I have told you this, but I have played pretty much, not the PS2 ones, but I played every single Ratchet and Clank game that came out on the PS3, and I fucking loved all of them. A Crack in Time, they all had different interesting sub mechanics. Like one that was very Clank heavy, one where you could go into a pocket dimension. There was one where you could rewind time, a whole bunch. I thought they were all amazing. I love the weapons. I love the character design. I love the voice acting. If we were going to do one of them, we probably would do the 2016 one because it's just easy and charming and super easy to get into. But the question is, have you an example of somebody who had a bad opinion of something based on one sour experience, and you knew that they were kind of just judging a thing based off of bad criteria or a one bad run-in, essentially? With
I'm trying to think if I can't really think of.
I'm very surprised because Dark Souls, the way, and this is not the fault. This is the fault of From Software, is that from the moment that they had released the PC version, aka the Prepare to Die edition, that was when they started with this marketing bullshit about it's so hard. It came in so hard. And I talked to somebody, I was talking with Bryce from over at Brian Brushwood about Dark Souls one day, and I was like, have you ever played Dark Souls? He's like, isn't that just that fucking horribly hard game, and it basically has no story and it's just super hard? And I was like, oh my God. It's like needles into my brain. And no, it's got a great story and it's not super hard, but they did that shit. They marketed it that way.
Yeah.
They leaned into it, and it makes me mad because there's just so many people who are never going to get a chance to get into that series because it's just look how hard it is. I'm trying to think of anything specific.
I feel like there's a game that Grant hates that I feel like the reason he hates it is because you made him play a version of it that was a shit port, and I can't think of what it was.
Well, I know that okay, I don't remember if it was the first one, but I'm pretty sure that Kingdom Hearts, it was either Kingdom Hearts, I think it was Kingdom Hearts 2 was one of the first JRPGs that I put in front of Grant.
Yeah.
And that's a bad example of there are JRPGs that do not have. Kingdom Hearts 2 is notorious for having the 4 hours of that other jackass that's not Sora.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour
opening.
Opening, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really fault him. But then there is a JRPG hate amongst both him and Brian Salisbury that I just really don't understand, especially from Brian Salisbury, because that motherfucker watches foreign movies that have subtitles. He's like, what is this video game? I gotta read? What are these words? Fuck words. Where's the jump button? Punch that guy. I'm like, dude, it's gonna be 8 hours before we do anything in this game. That's a problem, right? Is that the JRPG and the Souls crowd and Call of Duty and everybody, we all have our blind spots towards okay, if you had a person who had never played a JRPG before and you were going to try to get them to love JRPGs, what game would you hand them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I'm thinking like maybe like Final Fantasy VI, like the SNES one, where it's like you start out with Rydia and it's got mechs and it's just mind controlled, and then like oh no, and then the Espers come out, and you got this big cast of characters. Like maybe, I mean, Final Fantasy VII, I feel like is a classic. I don't know how much it would hold up to somebody who'd never played one before, but people who are fans of JRPGs or people who are fans of Japanese games in general, like we noticed this on Shenmue, right? They have this expectation that everybody just needs to calm the fuck down and be fine with like 3 or 4 hours of nothing before the game really gets going. And it's like, yeah, but these are such wonderful games. Like, do we really have to sit through 3 or 4 hours of kind of nothing until we get moving,
Yeah.
I don't know. To this day, I don't understand why Jason Murphy hates dive kicks so much. That's where I'll end on. It's just a thing. It's just a funny little game, right? And
I think he was annoyed by how serious some people take it.
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like he was personally offended at the existence of dive kick. Anyway, thanks, Michael. And one last one. This was just a comment. Somebody wrote in and said, "Hi, Jeff. I love you. That's all. Best regards, Dong Disciple." So, thanks, Dong Disciple.
We love you too.
I wouldn't go that far.
We moderately like you too.
I don't hate you back.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm channeling Morbo there. And you know what? We're going to call that a show. So mail@ragesite.com is the email address. Send in your questions, and we will answer them, even if we've got a shitload of trailers to talk about. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
I have no idea why I waved.
You were waving to the podcast?
I just waved. I don't know why I waved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.